Industry Association, also known as the NCIA, one of the largest trade associations in the cannabis industry to date. I am your host, Khadijah Adams, founder of Girl Get That Money and the Green Street Academy, here with our weekly check-in and interviews with minority-owned companies in the cannabis space, as well as companies that support social equity applicants, as well as cannabis industry leaders and pioneers. Joining me today is Ashley Morgan. She is the founder and CEO of Lotus Bliss Botanicals, a cannabis wellness company. And when we return from our commercial break, we'll learn more about Ashley, her journey into the cannabis industry, her take on cannabis and health and how they relate, and also get her views on social equity. We'll also catch you up on the latest news with minorities in cannabis. So if you're watching on Facebook right now, hit that share button. I think it's somewhere around here, wherever. And also tag a friend, people that you believe should be watching us too. We'll be back right after these messages.
We need to make sure that we get minorities and African Americans, people that have been affected by the war on drugs, indigenous people, brown and black people holistically needs to be a part of this conversation. With the help of NCIA and being an Evergreen member, we believe that we could push this agenda forward. Cannabis business owners, entrepreneurs that really see the bigger picture to say, let's push this agenda forward. We can't do this without you. We need to make sure that our voices are heard.
Hey guys, we are back, and guess what? Harvard University and NFL Hall of Famer Calvin Johnson are collaborating on a cannabis research project. So Johnson and former Lions teammate Rob Sims founded Michigan-based Primitive, which is a cannabis research company, and they created a collaboration with Harvard University to research how marijuana can help people with CTE and chronic pain. You know, I believe that's amazing. Can't wait to follow him. In fact, we want to have him on the show. So if y'all know him, hit a sister up at info@khadijahadams.com so we can get him on the show. And then next up, Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gomez dismisses over 3,500 marijuana cases following legalization. So the district attorney Gomez said, for too long, criminalization of marijuana has disproportionately impacted young people and communities of color whose members made up about 90% of those arrested. These arrests ruined the lives of thousands of people over the years, saddling many with criminal convictions that prevented them from pursuing opportunities in life. That was why in Brooklyn, we stopped prosecuting possession cases in 2014 and went further in 2017, declining prosecution of nearly all smoking cases as well. And you guys, since the state legislature legalized marijuana in March, Gomez also asked the court to dismiss a total of 3,578 marijuana cases that remain on the docket, mostly because of open warrants. So with this move, nearly all marijuana cases in Brooklyn have been dismissed. Yes, y'all on the right track. I love it. All right, and then next, don't forget, you guys, the Expungement Clinic hosted by 420 New Jersey Events, or NJ Events, on Tuesday, September the 14th. So the 420 NJ Events is hosting an expungement clinic to clear the records of men and women who have been disproportionately impacted by the war on drugs. They will be providing pro bono legal services to assist with the expungement process for non-violent cannabis convictions. So spread the word. If you want more information, go to info@420njevents.com. And then finally, Denver gets the first marijuana retailer applicant under the social equity program that they have. So Social Cannabis is applying to operate at 5068 North Federal Boulevard in the Regis neighborhood. So this guy is actually a former University of Denver student who was cited for possessing marijuana in Wyoming 11 years ago, you guys. And really, he's become the first applicant in the city for a marijuana retail store license under the new social equity program. His name is Daniel Morgan, and he's the owner of Social Cannabis. Actually, he owns 100% of Social Cannabis. And I have to tell you guys, you know, this is a guy who apparently was caught with like 2 ounces or something like that. And you guys know if he was caught with 2 ounces right now, they never would have put him in jail or anything like that. And so Social Cannabis will have an opportunity at a public hearing to determine whether or not his application has been approved. And so he's waiting for another 30 to like 45 days or something like that. So we're gonna wish you well and hope that you get your license. And so for those of you who don't know, to qualify for social equity status in Colorado, the applicants must have previously had a marijuana business that was subject to license revocation. They must also have either resided in Colorado for at least 15 years between 1980 and 2010 in a census tract designated as a disproportionate impacted area. They should also have a family member, either them or a family member was convicted of a cannabis related offense, or the applicant's household income did not exceed 50% of the state median income. So the applicant must also own at least 51% of the business. So the good news for Morgan is that he owns 100% of social cannabis. And according to the company's application, it is the first social equity application to actually go through. So 2 weeks ago, the first transporter license was approved, and also the first retail dispensary license was approved. And we're actually going to have that gentleman on the show in the next couple of weeks. His name is Lance Nixon, and so we can't wait to get him on the show as well. And when we return, you guys, we're going to meet Ms. Ashley Morgan, the founder and CEO of Lotus Bliss Botanicals. If you're watching on Facebook right now, hit the share button, or better yet, just tag some friends and tell them, get on the stage to the Cannabis and the Minority Report. So we will talk to you guys in just a little bit. We'll be right back.
I am the cannabis industry.
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 We are the cannabis industry.
And we are proving that regulation works.
We are back with Ashley Morgan, founder and CEO of Lotus Bliss Botanicals, a cannabis wellness company. Ashley uses her experience and knowledge as an herbalist and cannabis connoisseur to create and offer premium CBD edibles and feminine wellness products. She is committed to removing the stigma surrounding the cannabis plant and has plans to help women reclaim their feminine power and reconnect with their bodies. Ashley, welcome to the Cannabis Minority Report podcast. How are you? Good to have you on.
I'm so excited to be here. How are you, Khadijah? I'm doing awesome today. How are you?
I am doing great. I am just floating on cloud 9 right now. You would not believe. But hey, tell us about your journey into the cannabis industry and what motivated you to take a leap into the industry.
Definitely. So I've always been somebody that loves cannabis. I love the benefits of cannabis, both recreationally and medicinally. And when I really started to get into the benefits of what cannabis can do for you and also what CBD can do for you, I decided that I wanted to take it a step further. I didn't just want to use the benefits of cannabis for me or just for friends, like when we're hanging out. I wanted to educate everyone that I knew. I wanted to educate the world about the healing benefits of cannabis and CBD. When CBD and hemp became legal in 2018, after that, I knew that it was only up from here and my dreams of being a cannabis business owner could come true. So that's how I started and how I got here for the most part.
Absolutely. Well, so good. I'm so glad that I met you at the Lucky Leaf Expo this year. It was amazing. And I have a couple of questions, and I know there's a lot of questions that I want to ask, but I only have a few, we only have a few minutes here. So as a Black woman in cannabis, what are some challenges that you've had to overcome?
Okay, so a few challenges that I've had to overcome in the cannabis industry. I would say one of the biggest ones would be with funding and working with payment processors. And a lot of the time, gathering funds and working with a payment processor kind of go hand in hand because you need them to process that payment so you can get the funds. When I first started Lotus Bliss Botanicals and I was looking to raise capital, I decided to do a crowdfunding campaign, which would be I would start a campaign and I would try to raise funds through anybody I knew and try to reach my goal through like a community-based way. And I was working with a really cool crowdfunding company, and they basically had two payment processors that they worked with. And my crowdfunding campaign was going well. I was just getting ready to get it out there and start accepting donations and payments. And I tried to work with those two payment processors, and they both told me no way because I sold CBD. They would not work with me, and there was no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So the crowdfunding company, they wanted to work with me. They wanted to see me raise those funds and be successful in my business. But with the payment processors, a lot of the times it's just Black or white, and they have the say in whether or not they think you're a high risk merchant and whether or not they're going to work with you. And that has just been one of my biggest challenges, trying to work with these payment processors. I even have a payment processor that I work with through my website to sell my wellness products and edibles. And even at that point, when I was able to work with them, I was still being taxed like an extra like 4.5% per transaction. Yeah, plus an extra like 35 cents each transaction. So I'm being like heavily taxed, and I felt like I would be under like scrutiny from these payment processors. It would just kind of be such a challenge, but it's something that I had to work through. I feel like in the cannabis industry, a lot of the times we have to get used to not everybody being there in support of the plant, and a lot of the times getting some scrutiny and some backlash. I feel like even though those roadblocks payment processing came up for me, I'm always trying to find a new way or a better way to do things and go about things. I wouldn't let anything like that stop me.
Yeah, for sure. So did you ever find like the payment processor for you?
So I didn't find the payment processor for me because with that company, they only had those two payment processors.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I wasn't able to do that crowdfunding campaign. I did have a payment processor that I worked with to sell my products through my website. I've been working with them for the past few months.
Okay.
And
How's
actually,
that going?
so it was going well, other than the like the extra tax, like the extra processing fees. It was going well with them up until literally about 4 days ago. They actually emailed me and they closed my account 4 days ago. Yeah,
okay,
so everything.
So you have to hit me up after this, because there's some payment processors that actually they know about CBD. They've been working in the CBD industry for quite some time, and I want to make sure that you get those the information about those resources, so you don't have to go through that, and that does not hold up your business. So I'm so glad that I asked you that question. And so just make sure you hit me up after this so that we can talk about it, because I don't want to like blurt their names out and all this, right now, but definitely get back with me. You have my email, info@khadijahadams.com.
Yes,
right?
definitely.
Okay, so talk about your products right now. So what kind of products do you carry? I know feminine wellness. Tell me about that. I'm interested.
Okay, so I have a line of feminine wellness products that is meant for just self-care and for women to reconnect to their bodies and just kind of be more connected to ourselves. So I have like bath soaks, CBD bath soaks. I have CBD muscle rubs. Those are like some things that you can use just for self-care when things are, getting a little bit tough, muscles are getting achy and we just need like a little extra pick me up. I have those products. I also have a intimate oil. So I have an intimate oil that is handcrafted with all natural and organic ingredients, no synthetic.
You mean like a sexual lube?
So it's not a sexual lube necessarily. Okay. So what it is it's an intimate moisturizer, and it's basically something that you use like after you're out of the shower to moisturize the skin on the vulva, right? Just like you would moisturize everywhere else on your body. Like as women, a lot of the times we neglect certain parts of our bodies, and it's important to build that connection and keep that relationship going strong with our bodies, even if it's just a regular Monday or a regular Tuesday, not only when it's sexy time or when we got something to look forward to. It's important to, it's important.
Yes, I love how you just really talk about that. I think that's amazing. And so is your business online, or do you have a storefront?
So my business is mainly online. I don't have a storefront yet. It's mainly online. I'm happy that I'm going to email you about that payment processing after this, because as an online business, that's how I have to get my sales and payments. So it's completely online as of now.
All right. Yeah, I can't wait for us to have another conversation. So I know as an investor, I like the whole online situation. I think that, getting rid of the store, it's nothing wrong with a storefront, right? But when you first getting started, I think creating that brand and getting that brand out there online is the first step. And it just builds your audience so that when you do have that storefront, you're actually launching to an entire audience that's waiting, right? And bamming on the windows, waiting to come in. So are you seeking any investors at this time? And if so, what type of an investor are you seeking? And how much are you actually raising? And can you tell us about that, or is it a secret?
It's not a secret. We could definitely talk about that one.
Okay.
So I am seeking investors right now. I'm looking for investors that can provide capital and funding, and also can provide a team. For a long time, it's just been me working on Lotus Bliss Botanicals. And of course, I work with like a business coach, but I am also looking for investors that can provide capital and can provide a team. One of the next steps that I'm looking forward to is getting like a marketing campaign going so that we can find the women or the people that need these CBD feminine wellness products and who want these CBD edibles. And right now I'm looking for an investor to raise about $40,000 going forward with marketing, working with other freelance artists, graphic designers, and other business owners to kind of move the success of Lotus Bliss Botanicals forward.
Yeah, move the needle, huh? All right.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to talk about that. That's not a lot of money. So we'll talk about that a little later, but that's good. I'm glad that you're raising capital. So tell me, how important is it for you? How important is social equity to you as an African-American Black woman in the cannabis space? What does that actually mean and why?
So social equity to me is super important because like before I'm a business owner, before I have a CBD business, I'm a Black woman. And I am a Black woman that uses cannabis. I have family members that use cannabis. And I just really think it's important for us to reinvest into communities that have been affected by the prohibition of cannabis. I can personally say that I have seen how being incarcerated for possession of cannabis can affect families, how it can affect households. And I think that now is the time, as cannabis businesses are basically deemed essential businesses, now's the time to reinvest into those communities that have been affected the most by cannabis prohibition. And I also think it's important that we create a lot more diversity in the cannabis industry.
Yeah.
I think that it would be so meaningful for like if me just 10 years ago being a Black girl, if I were to see Black women in the cannabis industry, that would truly make my heart flutter, and that would make me realize that, you know, like my dreams are not as far as I think that they are.
Yeah.
So I think that diversifying the industry and having a lot more Black and brown people to take part in this industry is super important. We're just starting, kind of the cannabis industry is just starting out. We're pretty new for the most part, like legally and business wise. I think that it's important for us to set the tone, you know, of what this industry is going to be about. And it does not have to be white, male dominated all the time. Right. We can set the tone that Black and brown people are cannabis owners as well. Yeah. And, you know, reinvest into that. And also from a business standpoint, I like to take on a few social equity initiatives myself, like Lotus Bliss Botanicals buys all their CBD hemp from a Black owned farmer. I feel like it's important to take the money that as a cannabis business owner, right, to allocate the funds back into our community, back into people that may not have as much of a chance as someone that's more well off. Right. Lotus Bliss Botanicals tries to donate some of the proceeds from one of our products. It's a breast oil. We try to bring that back to we try to bring that back to a Black owned breast cancer foundation. We donate a part of the proceeds to that. Yeah, I think it's important for us.
Is that sister network? Is it the Sisters Network? I know.
No, it's 50.
What's the name of it?
50 Shades of Pink.
50 Shades of Pink. I like that name. Okay, I'm gonna have to check into that. I was actually getting ready to ask you about your involvement in other community organizations and events and things of that nature. And how important is it to educate the community, especially the African American community, about CBD and about the benefits that go along with it?
So it's super important. A lot of people, especially I've noticed in the African American community, we definitely respect the cannabis plant. A lot of people that I have come across, we know about the cannabis plant, but a lot of it is heavily THC focused. Right. Like everybody knows that like a joint is gonna calm your nerves and make you feel better and and it helps you de-stress after a long day. But I feel like there's still a lot more work that needs to be done on informing our community about the benefits of CBD. Yeah. It doesn't always have to be THC where we're getting those those psychoactive benefits that can be helpful. But CBD, I think it helps us bring a whole plant. It helps us understand the whole plant so much better. Yeah. And it helps us to kind of go through avenues that not everybody may have thought about. Yeah. You know, just like with, suffering from like, maybe, I don't want to make any medical claims, honestly, but.
Yeah. But seriously, those, I believe that adding in the CBD and being educated about CBD, it allows for whole plant, wellness, actually. And so when you learn about the cannabinoids, you learn exactly, well, where are the receptors and how does this actually work? It really just benefits the community as a whole to really get back to the all natural type situation. There's a lot of people that, this opioid pandemic is what I call it, or epidemic or whatever, people getting away from that. They're getting away from that. They're moving towards, a more natural alternative type situation. So I commend you for bringing these products to market, and I'm looking forward to having some really great experiences with your products as well. I am going to go online and order some today, so you'll be seeing my order as well. And then, so how can, and that's after we hook you up, right, with the payment process.
Exactly.
So, right. And so how can our viewers actually connect with you, Ashley?
Okay, so you guys can connect with me through Facebook, through Instagram. I have the same handle all through all social media. It's just Lotus Bliss Botanicals, my business name. So you guys can connect with me like through social media, Facebook, Instagram, all those good places. You guys can reach out to me through email, lotusblissbotanicals@gmail.com. If anybody else is wanting to make a purchase today, you guys can email me and I'll let you know once the payment processing gets figured out. We can go through with the order. But I'm Lotus Bliss Botanicals on everything.
Awesome. So thank you so much for joining us today. We'd love to have you back on the show in the future so we can check on your progress. And don't forget to hit me up after this. You know, we are very proud of you and your accomplishments. And we want to wish you so much success in reaching your goals to elevate your business to the next level. So Ashley, thanks again for joining us. We appreciate you. So hang tight. All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Okay, definitely. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So ladies and gentlemen, be sure to subscribe to the Cannabis Minority Report on Spotify, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, or on your favorite platforms to make sure you don't miss it, okay? We'll be right back with some NCIA news and updates right after this.
So we're very proud to be NCIA members. We've been members for the last 3 years, and I gotta say, every event, every conference, every get together that's sponsored by NCIA is a good opportunity, not just to meet others in the industry, obviously, but really to talk about the industry as a whole, where it's going, where it's been, our challenges to date.
We feel really grateful to NCIA for including us in the educational tracks the last 3 years. We've been at every seed to sale and most of the shows on the West Coast.
Every time we're here, I always have a sense that it's not just another one of these industry conferences, that it's actually that it is the industry's lobbying arm, and that it's an organization that is protecting all of us and fighting for the legal future that we all need.
At the end of the day, the most important and impactful thing for us is the community. It's really about the people that NCIA brings together, and the events like this one that NCIA organizes for us to gather.
If you're in this industry, NCIA is trying to influence it positively for you. If you're not speaking up, if you're not participating in committees, you're missing out on a huge window. You know, everyone wants change. Well, this is one of the ways you do it.
You don't have to be a member of the NCIA. You could just do nothing and let them do everything for you and fix all the problems that need to be fixed for the industry to work properly, and you could just sit on the sidelines. That would be fine, but it'd be better if you were a member.
All right, you guys, we are back with the latest news from the NCIA. So the NCIA is accepting applications from individuals committed to helping with us make a change in the cannabis industry. These individuals have the opportunity to get directly involved in specific industry issues as well as the different sectors. They are volunteer-driven efforts that really help our members to drill down in the areas of expertise and passion to affect change, provide professional development opportunities, as well as develop best practices and guidelines that will help shape the future of the cannabis industry. We have 14 different committees, including the Scientific Advisors Committee, the Facilities Design Committee, as well as the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, the Cannabis Cultivation Committee, Policy Committee, and many more. So the NCIA Social Equity Scholarship recipients and new members also qualify for committee placement. One of the goals for this particular scholarship is that we want to diversify the voices in leadership positions on the NCIA committees, And the deadline to submit your application is August 15th. Today is the 9th. So you literally only have 6 days. So make sure you get your applications in as well. Don't forget to check out the NCIA's member news blog, as well as the industry insights that includes our NCIA member spotlight series. And we'll also highlight some of the new members who joined through the Social Equity Scholarship Program. So don't forget to download the NCIA's mobile app. Join me this year at the NCIA's Midwest Cannabis Business Conference on September 22nd and 23rd in Detroit, Michigan. And yes, your girl will be there. I just secured my tickets. Don't forget, you can actually get your early bird pricing and your tickets at MidwestCannabisBusinessConference.com. That's MidwestCannabisBusinessConference.com. Join us also at the Eastern Cannabis Business Conference, December 7th and 8th in Baltimore, Maryland. Yes, I will be there too. I'm excited about that. To pick up your tickets, go to EasternCannabisBusinessConference.com. That's EasternCannabisBusinessConference.com. And then we're also hitting up the West Coast before the end of the year, y'all. So join us at the Cannabis Business Summit. It takes place December the 15th through the 17th in San Francisco. Tickets can actually be purchased at CannabisBusinessSummit.com, CannabisBusinessSummit.com. Big shout out to our DEI program sponsors, Taiho Wellness Center, as well as the law offices of Omar Figueroa, and then Copper State Farms. Now, the mission of the DEIC committee is to educate, to advocate, to engage, and empower the community of cannabis and its members by cultivating partnerships with other nonprofit organizations with similar goals, providing resources that actually create and sustain an environment that is not only inclusive, but equitable and diverse. We're committed to building a culture that respects our members and celebrates their contributions as we work together to strengthen all communities in the cannabis space. So if you know someone that should be featured here on the Cannabis Minority Report, drop me a line at info@khadijahadams.com. That's info@khadijahadams.com. So until next Monday, peace, love, and hippie stuff.
NCIA's Cannabis Minority Report is a product of the National Cannabis Industry Association and NCIA's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. We are hosted every week by Khadijah Adams. Our executive producers are Aaron Smith and Vince Chandler. We are directed by Vince Chandler and produced by Bethany Moore. Please, please, please find out everything you can about the growing and equitable cannabis industry at thecannabisindustry.org.